Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Salinas and I'm the Director of Marketing, Communications, and Merchandise for your Hickory Crawdads. Today we're going to go on a virtual tour of LP France Stadium and learn a little bit about Hickory Crawdads history along the way. To start off the tour, we'll talk a little bit about the land that the stadium sits on and the history behind it. In 1992, it was announced that a minor league baseball team would be returning to Hickory for the first time since the Hickory Rebels, whose final season was in 1970. Elmer Winkler had donated his 37-acre tract of land to the city in 1989, so the city already had the perfect place to build a home for its new team. This whole property is actually called Winkler Park in his honor. Of course, there's the stadium, but down the hill is the Winkler Activity Center, which can be rented out through the city for private events. There's also a playground, the Winkler Museum, and his home place, and some walking and nature trails. Work on LP France Stadium began in 1992. That winter, there was an extremely high rainfall and slowed work on the site to the point where opening day at the Franz was in question. The stadium project actually got a month behind schedule, and in the weeks leading up to the Crawdads' first game, crews started working overtime and weekends while the ownership group started looking at potential other fields to play at while the necessities were finished at LP France Stadium. The alternate sites explored include Legion Field off Highway 70, the LR Baseball Field, MS Steel Stadium in Granite, and even Sims Park in Gastonia, where the team had just relocated from. Luckily for the Dads, the project was done and got the all clear just in time for opening night. During the first part of the season, however, the parking lot and the road leading up to the stadium weren't completely paved yet, and the Crawdads Cafe wouldn't open until May. The team did install temporary bleacher seating down the right and left field lines to accommodate for the large crowds that filled the stadium to welcome the team. Construction on the stadium was estimated to have cost $3.8 million, which was both privately and publicly funded. A bulk of the funds used by the city for construction of the stadium were repaid by the team via the lease agreement and a share of the concession, ticket, and parking sales. The home and visiting clubhouses were built on a donation in the name of Forrest Gaines, who was a local Hickory businessman. The name LP France Stadium comes from the Pepsi bottler of Lee Polk Franz. Franz's daughters made a large donation to help fund the ballpark construction. The rough grading for the stadium and the new 4-lane road that is still the primary access point to the park was a gift from the late Clarence Clement. The road and the stadium address still bear his name, Clement Boulevard. As I mentioned, the team arrived in Hickory for the 1993 season as local ownership group led by Don Beaver, Luther Beaver, and Charles Young purchased the Gastonia Rangers and moved them up the road to their hometown of Hickory. At the time, minor league baseball teams were just starting to really buck the trend of naming themselves after their affiliate and instead opting for more creative options. The owners wanted to go all in on this trend and find a unique name for their ball club. They hosted a Name the Team contest and encouraged fans to fill out the ad in the newspaper and send back with their ideas. They weeded down the names to a final 5: Hickory Hounds, Hickory Woodchucks, Hickory River Cats, the Hickory Valley Cats, and of course, the Hickory Crawdads. The Crawdads name caught on with the owners, in part because of the fond memories many locals have of spending their youth catching the critters in the local waterways, but also because of the animals' resilience and habits of being most active at night. One unique feature about the stadium is that it actually sits in both Catawba and Burke counties, making it possible to literally hit a home run into the next county. However, it did provide an interesting hurdle during construction as the team had to obtain special legislation to be permitted to sell beer and wine on both sides of the stadium, as Burke County was a dry county up until 2017. Since their arrival from Gastonia in 1993, the Crawdads have played in the South Atlantic League, winning the league title in 2002, 2004, and once again in 2015. During the 2019 season, the Crawdads set an all-time best winning percentage and made it all the way to the league championships once again, but ultimately came up short, losing to the Lexington Legends in a best-of-5 series. Hickory has also hosted 3 All-Star games, hosting their first in 1994, and again in 2001, and the last one was in 2014. The South Atlantic League is made up of 14 teams, with the Crawdads playing in the Northern Division. Also in their division are the Delmarva Shorebirds, Greensboro Grasshoppers, Hagerstown Suns, Kannapolis Cannonballers, Lakewood Blue Claws, and West Virginia Power. In the Southern Division are the Asheville Tourists, Augusta Green Jackets, Charleston River Dogs, Columbia Fireflies, Greenville Drive, the Lexington Legends, and the Rome Braves. In minor league baseball, the players you see out on the field are not actually under contract by the team. That means that the Crawdads are not actually out there scouting, signing, or doing any of that with the players. Instead, we sign a player development contract with a major league affiliate to become one of their farm teams, where the team themselves will be the ones to go out and send us the players. The Crawdads have had 3 such affiliates during their history. The Chicago White Sox from 1993 to 1999, the Pittsburgh Pirates from 1999 to 2008, and then the Texas Rangers came to town in 2009 and are still our current affiliate. The Rangers even purchased the team following the 2017 season from the original ownership group. With the Rangers system, players are often first sent to Arizona to work out at their spring training site. From there, they are sent to the Spokane Indians in Washington, at which point they get sent to us, the low A affiliate. And then when they do well with the Crawdads, they'll get sent to the Down East Woods Ducks of the Class A League. And then on to Double A Frisco with the Rough Riders in Texas, and then to Nashville, the Triple A affiliate. And finally, they'll get the call to the Texas Rangers and get sent to Arlington when they've proved that they are ready to face Major League hitting or pitching. Through the 2019 season, there have been 178 Crawdads players that have gone on to reach the major leagues. Players such as former MVP Andrew McCutchen, Maglio Ordonez, Jose Batista, and Carlos Lee have all come through Hickory on their way to the pros. Ranger slugger Joey Gallo has also played here as part of the 2013 Crawdads Club that set a South Atlantic League record with 178 home runs a season. Gallo himself hit 38 home runs that year, and fans still talk about the moonshots he would hit during his time with the Dads. After the 2015 season, the Crawdads decided it was time for a refresh in the team's look. The team worked with Studio Simon to introduce a new logo set that updated the existing logo while also adding in a new primary logo instead of alternates. The tertiary light blue color was also added into the team's color scheme. The Crawdads debuted new home red jerseys, grays, and a new blue alternate. They also introduced 4 new on-field hats, including the home, road, BP, and alternate that the team still wears. The Crawdads' original alternate jersey was a black one that they wore on Sundays in the 1990s. The black was a nod to the Chicago White Sox, who were the Crawdads' affiliate at the time. Now, the Crawdads' blue has nothing to do with the current affiliate of the Texas Rangers, although the Rangers did debut a new powder blue jersey prior to the 2020 season. So, the Crawdads' Sunday Blues actually do match their affiliate once again. As is popular tradition in minor league baseball, the Crawdads have taken on 3 alternate identities over the past few seasons. The team temporarily takes on these alternate names, complete with specialty hats, jerseys, and logo sets. The first identity the Dads took on was the Hickory Craw Moms, which was introduced for Mother's Day weekend in 2018. Last year, the Crawdads joined MILB's Copa de la Diversión initiative to celebrate Latinx culture. As part of the program, the Crawdads adopted a culturally relevant identity, complete with specialty logos and uniforms. The Crawdads selected the identity of Las Llamas de Hickory and play as the Llamas during select games throughout the season. Dating back to the Incan Empire, llamas have long been revered for their utility and strength, both of which are tentpoles for the Crawdads organization. The logo holds nods to both Hickory's furniture-producing industry, see the furniture leg in the llama's mouth, and Latin America's vibrancy through the animal's colorful chulo. The Crawdads' newest identity is the Hickory Couch Potatoes. The name is a tribute to Hickory's furniture-producing history in North Carolina, who is the nation's leading producer of sweet potatoes. The Couch Potatoes have yet to take the field, but will do so when the Crawdads return to play. The Couch Potato wordmark and number set are made to look like grease stains and chip potato crumbs, just like a couch potato would actually be wiping on his shirt. During the 2013-14 off-season, LP France Stadium underwent its first major renovation project. As part of the work, the original red and blue box seats were removed and replaced with the green ones you see today. The grandstands were removed on both baselines, with the 3 new party patios being built on the third base side, while the picnic pavilion was installed on the other, along with the VIP seating section. The Crawdads' front offices and adjoining cafe were also modernized. The stadium concourse and parking lot received resurfacing. On the player side, the bullpen area was redone and a new batting cage was built. The stadium also got fresh banners and signage. Other pieces of the renovation included updating the Crawdads 6 suites and replacing the field lights to create better playing conditions for players. Following the 2017 season, a tornado came through the area. Fortunately, it did very minimal damage to the fans, just knocking down a few of the outfield walls and billboards. Renovations were actually already planned to replace the wooden outfield walls with the new padded material, so the tornado actually helped to speed along the construction. The new padded surface was installed down the foul lines as well. The playing surface was also redone, digging deep into the ground to replace the drainage pipes, lay new sod, and put new dirt out. The dugouts were renovated with new benches and bat racks being installed, and the entrance was raised an inch or so to create a lip to block the rain flow into the dugout. The poles that had supported the safety nets to block some of the views for the seating bowl were removed. The new net is supported by suspension wires run overhead. The most notable upgrade the stadium received was the new LED video board. The state-of-the-art board measures 54 feet wide by 15.5 feet tall and allows the team to run everything in one digital display rather than have the separate board and detached line score piece. The new board also has a wireless camera, allowing the team to show promotions and select replays on the board. In 2019-20, the renovation projects continued. The focus of the work was more on the clubhouse. The home and visitor side were both redone in this project. New carpets, paint, and ceiling tiles were added on both sides. On the visitor side, a block of lockers was removed from the center of the room to the north wall, opening up the space and allowing the installation of a hanging TV mount and central seating area. An old storage room was converted into a coach's office in the back. On the Crawdad side, the laundry room was taken out and turned into a dining area for players, and new wood lockers were installed for players and coaches. The manager's office was also spruced up, while the other coaches got a new work area to review tapes and prepare for games. The clubhouse was expanded into the old umpire's room to make space for the new dressing area and bathroom for the coaches. The displaced laundry room and umpire's areas were relocated to a new structure built outside the batting cages. Other smaller projects completed around the stadium included new paneling on the picnic deck, a new playground for the kids on the third base side, and new wood laminate floors in all the suites. The press box acts as the control center for all games and major events. It is made up of 6 booths and rooms. The first room is where all the equipment to run the video board and sound system is held. A staff member will operate the music and play all the sound effects you hear, such as the doorbell after a foul ball. Next to him is the PA announcer, who introduces batters and the between-inning promotions. And then comes the video board equipment. The line score is a separate device called an all-sport, where they keep track of balls, strikes, outs, number of runs, hits, and errors committed by each team. The rest of the video board is run by a 3-monitor system, and that includes changing out the headshots, playing pre-recorded video, switching over to the live camera, changing the pictures. All of that is controlled by a separate computer. In the next booth are our official scorer and a stringer. The stringer tracks a game and inputs the plays online so fans can follow along on the app or website in real time, while the official scorer makes any official decisions on whether or not a close play could be a hit or an error or any close play such as that. The third booth is for the visiting radio broadcaster. While we don't have our own radio, 9 teams in our league travel with their announcers so they can set up and call the game from the booth. The next is the promo prop room. If you've ever seen a Crawdads game, you've seen people put on a cardboard jeep and run across the field, or dress up as buns to race and build a burger faster than the other team. All props for those games are stored up here. The 5th booth is for the Rangers analytic team. The analytics team sets up cameras around the stadium and partners that with a system called TrackMan to not only monitor stats such as miles per hour, but also spin rates and exit velocities when a batter makes contact with a pitch. The computers to do all that are located at the end of the press box. Of course, there's also a room for Conrad to cool down during the night and stay hydrated. Everyone's favorite Crawdad, Conrad the Crawdad, has gone through quite the makeovers throughout the years, but he has been a staple throughout Crawdad's history. He got his name from a Name the Mascot contest run in local newspapers. A few years later, Crustacean Nation got to meet his longtime love interest, Candy, who used to do laps around the stadium actually throwing out candy to fans. Conrad finally got down on one knee on Mother's Day weekend in 2018 and popped the question to Candy, who accepted with an excitable nod. A month later, the two were wed in an on-field ceremony during the game and exited under a tunnel of bats formed by players holding up bats. The Crawdads are actually the second minor league team to call Hickory home. The Hickory Rebels arrived in town in 1933 and played a season in a semi-pro or independent league until joining the now-defunct Class D Tar Heel League in 1939, marking the first year of professional baseball in Hickory. The Rebels bounced around various professional leagues until 1953, taking a few years off for World War II or other reasons. The Rebels returned for one more season in 1960 before folding for good, but they made it count, with pitcher Danny Haling setting several records that still stand as all-time marks in the South Atlantic League. Haling went 22-9 that year, which is a league record for most wins in a year, and most decisions with 31. He also threw 24 complete games, another record, and posted just a 2.0 ERA. He was elected to the inaugural South Atlantic League Hall of Fame class in 1994. A few other local towns did field teams briefly in the Western Carolina League, which existed from 1948 to 1952, or the Western Carolinas League, which was 1960 to 1979. The teams included the Granite Falls Graniteers, the Lenore Red Sox, the Lincolnton Cardinals, the Marion Marauders, the Morganton Aggies, and the Newton Conover Twins. And the Statesville area had 4 other variations of teams. The Graniteers lasted just one season, going 14-96, going through 5 managers in just that 1 year, on their way to the worst record in professional baseball history. The most successful of the group was the Newton Conover team, which lasted for 12 seasons, although they still do hold the South Atlantic League record for fewest hits in a season with 705, though they did only play 97 games in that 1963 season. The Crawdads were the first minor league team to join in on one of the century's biggest trends, the internet. They created a website in 1994 for fans to check out the full-color electronic catalog, download order forms for merch, check out news, see the schedule, and send in questions to the front office staff. Unfortunately, game stats, player bios, and the ability to email in orders were still to come. Nowadays, of course, all 160 minor league teams have a website, but the Crawdads beat them all to it, becoming the very first in that 1994 year. There's obviously a lot that goes into planning and putting on a season, and the Crawdads have a relatively small staff that's responsible for doing all of that. The front office staff consists of General Manager Douglas Lacasio, Assistant General Manager Skip Moser, Business Manager Donna White, Director of Sales Robbie Willis, myself, the Director of Marketing, Communications, and Merchandise, Ashley Salinas, and then we have our Group Sales Department, which consists of the Director, Daniel Barkley, a Group Sales Executive, Samantha Baldini, and Group Sales Executive, Kristen Biner. We also have our groundskeeper, Cody Bryant. We also have our Delaware North Company, who manages our concessions. That is Ryan Spangler. During the season, we also bring in 4 assistants. The assistants help run the box office, plan and execute our promotions, help in stadium ops to get the stadium prepared and looking spectacular before every game, and a groundskeeper's assistant. While we each have official titles, none of us are defined by it. Everyone helps in different departments, wearing whatever hat they're asked. All of us are even part of the dreaded tarp crew. What a lot of people don't know about our front office staff is that we are actually at the stadium from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, all year round. When the season ends Labor Day every year, we don't just pack up and go home for the off season. In fact, we're still working hard to make sure that we're ready and improving for every year. So we'll start planning our promotions, running our ticket specials, planning any outside events that we may have, anything that we can do to stay ready and keep fans entertained. We are more than game to do it all year round. For example, some of the off-season events you might have seen, we host the Alzheimer's Walk, American Cancer Society 5K. We host a trunk or treat every year, the Spring Fling, a movie night. We've hosted chili cook-offs, poker runs, anything that you can really think of to host at a ball stadium. We've done it and more. LP France Stadium has a seating capacity of 3,559, making it the smallest ballpark in the South Atlantic League. The France has 28 reserved seating sections, plus the VIP section, 6 suites, 3 party patios, the picnic pavilion, the picnic deck, and seating at the cafe. With standing room only, the largest crowd the France has ever hosted for a Crawdads game was 5,525 fans on July 4, 2017. During their 27 seasons, the Crawdads have welcomed 4,679,612 people through the gates. The outfield is 332 feet down the left and right field lines and 400 feet to dead center. The park is usually thought of as a hitter's park, as the wind comes down the hill and helps the ball carry out. The Crawdads have actually retired 7 numbers. The team honors the Rangers' retired numbers of Ivan Rodriguez's number 7, Michael Young's number 10, Johnny Oates' number 26, Adrian Beltre's number 29, and Nolan Ryan's number 34. Baseball teams across the country have also all retired Jackie Robinson's number 42, and the Crawdads are no different. The entire South Atlantic League has also retired number 50 in honor of the late Commissioner John Henry Moss, who founded the league and presided over it for 50 years. The Crawdads have thrown 4 no-hitters in their history. 2 were individual efforts. Wayne Lindeman threw the first in 1993, while Brian Holliday tossed the other in 2004. Martin Perez, Tyler Tufts, and Fabio Castillo combined for a no-no in 2009, while Luis Parra, Keone Kela, Ryan Borges, and Alex Claudio worked together to perform the feat in 2013. The combined no-hitters were both 7-inning efforts. Thank you everyone for joining us on this virtual tour. Stay safe, and we hope to see you soon at the France.